Hello everybody and welcome to Poole once again. I seem to visit this place more often than I do with my hometown of Bridgewater, and I only live about a 15-minute bus ride away from there. Anyway, sorry for the hectic start to this video, but it was kind of a mad rush to get off the train and find the first bus that would take us to Poole bus station. Anyway, I know this isn't an open top bus yet, however in this video I will finally be sampling after my many years, I think it's 2 or 3 years, of regularly coming down here in the summer, but just too early in the summer to film some of the open toppers going around in this lovely part of the south coast. Anyway, here I am arriving into Poole bus station on this Blue Star ADO Enviro 400 MMC, which for some reason was on the 40 service. I think Blue Star sent a few of their MMCs down to help with the summer services down here. Whilst I'm in the bowels of the very busy Poole bus station, here you can see my next bus on the 70 Beach Breezer service. This is one of 2 Volvo B70L East Lancs Vikings. These have the old Viking bodywork as opposed to the new Millennium Viking bodywork that was introduced on most of the East Lancs vehicles. Anyway, I'll be taking this as far as Bournemouth, taking a rather roundabout route via the 70 service. There are 2 of these labelled 1912 and 1913, and they operate alongside some of the Scania Optare Visionaires.
It's for the works do, because me and Andy are drinking alcohol. I can't remember. I literally can't remember. She's going to have a think about it, I'll send it to you. Yeah. She hasn't had one in a long time, she's just alcohol. I got older and just took red wine. Yeah, I'll message. Okay, that's what she's saying. Oh, do you know details?
The closer and closer I got to the south coast, the more and more quiet this bus became. Here I am wandering through the streets of sandbanks and lilies. Here I am connecting with the coast in the Alam Chine area. Because this area is so well known, it does get quite a good bus service in the summer months. But because the 70 is the only bus service that serves this couple of bus stops in this area, the 70 service does run through this area in the winter months as well. However, you are unable to reach Poole and Brockley Park. You have to go into Bournemouth and take the M1 or M2 routes, or you can try and make your way using the 50 service, which stops just down the road towards Sandbanks, and then take the 60 service, which will also take you to Poole as well as Brockley Park.
Next stop, the Liberty.
After passing through Westbourne, here I am arriving into the centre of Bournemouth again. I quite like this area around the bus stops in the town centre. As well as this, on double-decker and open-top buses, you can see the roof of the buses, and I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but the more newer the bus is, the more likely the roof is to be plain white. I suppose it saves on paint, maintenance and branding, whereas on the older buses, such as the Volvo B7R Elise, the roof has been painted. Now, I didn't have a very long connection here at all, and luckily I made it since the 50 service arrived in a few minutes early and then waited, which is actually quite a good start to the day. My next bus would be the Purbeck Breezer 50 service. I'd only be taking this as far as Sandbanks before it heads along across the ferry and towards Studland and Swanage. Before I head on to my next Volvo B5TL, here is the Volvo B7TL leaving Bournemouth. Here I am leaving Bournemouth on my way towards Sandbanks. We'll be travelling roughly through the same area as what we just did on the 70, but going down a few more roads and following a more direct route along the coast to Sandbanks. As I travel through the housing estates of southern Bournemouth and Poole, you can see that this bus has announcements and destination screens. Although not all of the open toppers have destination screens on the top deck, they all have announcements, which I think is absolutely brilliant. My only issue is that with a lot of these open toppers, especially the convertible ones like that Volvo B5TL and this Scania Optare Visionaire coming along now, is that the bell configuration isn't very good at all, yet they expect you to sit down until the bus comes to a complete stop. Well, how are you supposed to press the bell if you've got to wait until it comes to a complete stop? Honestly, I don't know. Some of these bus designs aren't the best, especially when they're in their open top configuration. Anyway, here I am approaching sandbanks along the lovely coast. Here I am at Sandbanks. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to watch the ferry come across as it was at the Studland side of the river. However, I did manage to make my next connection, which was a fairly tight one. There is a theme of tight connections in this video, just in case you haven't noticed. My next bus would be the Harbour Breezer Route 60 service. This does run throughout the winter as well. However, the buses that operate along the route are convertible, and therefore in the winter they operate as double-deckers instead of open-top vehicles. However, this was the summer, and well, the convertible arrangement on these Volvo B7s is absolutely amazing. Now this is what you call a toast rack, a proper Volvo B7TL open top, just a proper open top. I wish there were more of these about. However, quite often modern open top buses have a small bit at the front which isn't convertible. Oh, for God's sake, you know what I mean, I'm not redoing this. Anyway, after my crash out just then, here I am leaving Sandbanks Ferry Approach on the 60 service, this time heading back to Lilliput Square. I expect you expected me to head back to Poole on this one. No, I managed to fit in an extra bus. Anyway, I absolutely love this Volvo B7TL, and it did have announcements on the top deck as well, which I really wasn't expecting. Here I am arriving into Lilliput Square, where I would change onto the 70 Beach Breezer service again to take a slightly different route back towards Poole. This time I would have one of the Optare Visionaire convertible open-top buses. The Optare Visionaire is basically a convertible version of the Optare Olympus. Apart from that, especially in this neck of the woods, they're completely identical and even have the same Scania engine. Here is my next bus arriving and my final bus into Lilliput Square. this would be one of the many Scania N230UD Optare Vision Air vehicles. Not all of them wear the Beach Breezer branding, however luckily, with this one being on the Beach Breezer, it was wearing its branding for the route. Anyway, it was only a short hop across the pool, but let's enjoy the lovely Scania engine along with the lovely fresh air of this area.
Next stop, Dalton Gardens. Next stop, Mental Health Office.
Here I am arriving into the not so fresh Poole bus station. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I know it was kind of short, I think. I'm not really too sure how long it was. I don't think it's overly long, but hopefully you enjoyed this open top excursion in Poole in Bournemouth. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here with a lovely view of the Dolphin Shopping Centre. It's actually one of my favourite buildings, believe it or not. Please don't go mental at me. I know a lot of people hate it, but I'm one of the rare people who love it. There we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone. Oh yeah, quick note. Moorbus, why did you cancel a load of services on the number 1 route? It meant I had to walk to Poole railway station. Anyway, cheers for now.